Good morning. Today I'm going to bring you along on my chest and back day here in Alaska. But yeah, this is what it's like living as a bodybuilder out here in Alaska. That's what I'm doing and that's what I'm showing. So I'm going to bring you along, I'm going to get my gym bag ready, and then we're going to go. And I'll show you the only gym here in Homer, Alaska. Okay, so I'm leaving the cabin right now. It's about a 20-minute drive. I'm about to hop in the truck. So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Jacob Johnson, and I am a soon-to-be professional bodybuilder. Probably 20 pounds off comp weight. For those of you wondering about where I'm at there. And what I do is I actually moved up here to Homer, Alaska to work with Otto Kilcher, who was a guy who was on TV for over 11 years. Some of you may know him. And I am kind of really his YouTube guy. And here I am doing my own YouTube as well. So that's what I do. Got a 20-minute drive, and I'll see you guys at the gym. So it's currently hay season right now, and a lot of my time is spent, one, filming and editing Otto, but my other kind of daily activities is helping him also out on the farm and doing any farm work he kind of needs. So it's a fun mix, you know. I'm from the city, I'm a bodybuilder. The past 4 years I've kind of spent professionally bodybuilding. Not a professional bodybuilder yet. Obviously you have to get big enough to compete, and I'd say I'm about 20 pounds off. So check this video I have every single time I leave the homestead. Pretty fucking cool, I'd say. Okay, so I'm gonna explain what I'm doing today. Today is a chest and back day, and what my split incurs right now after 4 years of like completely doing it, I wouldn't say I've backed off. I've kind of taken some time off, but it's a chest and back day today, and my split consists of push-pull legs, and then a rest day, and then the Arnold split, which is chest and back one day, arms, and then legs. So I've kind of been doing that split, and I really love that split because it allows me to still have an arm day. But I mean, an arm day is a really good day. It's one of my favorite days, and I'd highly suggest everyone having an arm day in their split, or switching it up at least. So today is chest and back, tomorrow's arms, and then I'll hit a leg day. What I usually do, this gym's a little bit different than my college gym, so I don't really have all the equipment that I used to have, but I change it up here less, nonetheless. Yeah, chest and back. So start with a bench, incline, and then I'll go ahead and go into the pullovers. Pullovers obviously hit the lats and to me it feels like the upper chest. I don't really see many people doing pullovers. I don't know why, but it honestly is one of my favorite chest workouts, if you can feel the squeeze properly. And then we'll get into back. I've really been trying to isolate doing some rows, like actual seated rows, and going really heavy. I feel like my lower mid back has been lacking, and if I kind of get a good stretch, I've noticed growth there. So it's really just now that I'm 4 years into the gym, I kind of just tailor to what my body needs now that I've built up such a big base. So kind of whatever's lacking, I try and put more time in. Besides my chest, I always just hit my chest no matter what. Like, it's my favorite workout. So we're pulling in the Bay Club here now. Here we are. It's a nice gym here in Homer, Alaska. And I'll go ahead and give you guys a tour when I get in, show you around the equipment. It's really small, but when it's your only option, believe me, it's good. See you guys in there. So, just got here to the gym. If you're ever in Homer, Alaska, it's pretty nice. Got a huge rock climbing wall. Really nice. Really nice entrance. Now, I'll show you around the equipment. It's very limited, but gets the job done. Got everything I need. Lat pull down, seated rows, Smith machine, leg press. It's a nice, sweet little gym, you know? So we're gonna start with, now that you've seen the tour, maybe with some heavy back rows. Looks like there's some people in there, so maybe I'll just set it up and then I'll show you my top set. I think that's what I'll do. See you down there. I actually lied, I'm starting with the bench. It's not a 45-pound bar. All right. So, on days like this where the gym's completely empty, I can't ask for a spotter because everyone's gone. So, I still bench. I just kind of take it light and easy, kind of a maintain. So, go ahead and walk you through that process, because why not? So, the way I've trained the last 4 years is I've always pyramided up to like my top set. I know a lot of people have working sets, and I don't know how efficient that is, but to me, I've always been able to just, one, do more volume, and two, I think push more weight whenever I pyramid up, rather than a warm-up set and then 3 working sets at a weight. I don't know, it's here or there, but typically, I mean, that's just how I've always done it, and I've seen significant growth. So, of course, I mean, I haven't even been in the gym for 4 years. Maybe just over a little 3.5. Obviously, warm up. So typically, I'm gonna start with 135, jump up to 205, 225, and then my last set's usually around 245. So that's where I'm at right now. Don't you tell me, won't you tell me? So, if you're a tall guy, so this advice really kind of definitely for taller people. I know so many people don't bench and they prefer dumbbell benching, but I don't know, I've always seen significant growth with benching. And I haven't missed a day of benching, like ever. So, if I were to give advice to really anyone starting to get in the gym, and this advice would probably be geared towards, I don't know, people my body type, but I would definitely say working with lighter weights and slowly building up your strength is definitely the best way to, I think, progress in the gym. I mean, it's not as satisfying as probably putting on 225 really quickly, but if you're playing for the long game, I think you win no matter what. I mean, I was kind of 6'4" when I started at the gym, and I probably after 6 months barely got to like 135. But I always did 4 sets, and my top set was my heaviest. And I've always tried to move up my heavy set. But I never really tried to do less reps. Like I always had more reps. And more reps, lighter weight, working up to a heavier set, which I then tried to do as much as possible. And I always try to do sets of 10. So that's kind of definitely my advice. Take it slow, lighter weight. And I think the growth is just better than if you were to try, because if you're just trying to put on strength, you're not gonna put on size. And I think consistency over time. And this is obviously coming from someone who's a natural lifter. I've obviously never enhanced. So, I don't know, things are different for that case. But definitely, I feel like a lot of the times what I've seen in the gym is people try and like jump ahead. They try to get ahead of themselves with the weight. And like they do push up in weight, but I've never seen their size grow. So honestly, the principle of more reps, lower weight, but that's not saying don't push yourself. Obviously, you definitely need to push yourself. And that last top, that's why I like the pyramid, because I know what I can do for 3 sets on an equal period growth, and then on that last one, that 4th set is the one there. I can't quite get it for 10, but I can get it for 6 to 8. And then you're working with that weight for about, you do that pyramid set, 4 sets of that pyramid, where that top set, maybe you just get it for 6, you finally get it for 7, then 8, and over the course of that 3 months, you get about 3 months, that's what it was for me. And then I always graduated in weight. So I always plateaued, but then after 3 months, I always shot up and like gained about 20 pounds on my bench. So my top set would always go up. So it's different for everyone, obviously. Everyone's body is different, but. So what I'm gonna do is throw on 225 now. Everyone starts the gym at a different time too. Really, you can't be discouraged. You can't be discouraged. I remember being discouraged by guys throwing on 205 and 225, and I was stuck barely with 145 and struggling with 155. So you just gotta, but now here I am with, I was throwing 245 on and 265 at the end of the last few months of my college. So like, just trust the process, trust the time, and just make sure you're eating. And maybe I'll discuss what I eat, what I ate kind of over the period of my college days. I'm gonna give you my knowledge of how I achieved what I've achieved, and obviously I plan to achieve much more. My goal is to put on 20 more pounds, hopefully to be around comp weight. I'm sitting around 225. I'd like to be 245, 250-ish before I even consider cutting. So we'll see. I just gotta get this on camera. My biggest achievement is my underhang. I feel like since the beginning of starting the gym, all I wanted was to have the shadow underneath my chest, and I have it. You know, there's a lot of thought about becoming a bodybuilder too. I mean, there's one, I wouldn't ever want to compete and take steroids if I don't have to, if I know I'm not gonna win. I mean, it all comes down to genetics too. I mean, if you look at all the top competitors, I mean, the guys who win, it's all genetically based. I mean, clavicles, muscle inserts, it's waist, it's all genetics. And if I didn't have the genetics to even compete, I'm never gonna take gear. You know, I'll just get as big as I possibly can as natural. And being about 6'5", I mean, I'm already pretty big compared to the average guy. I don't need the steroids to get up to that size. It's a huge complication. I don't know what I want to do. I would like to be a professional bodybuilder, but the steroids. But then, you know, Arnold did it, and look at him. He's reaching 80. I'd be okay if I hit 80. But that is where I'm at. So I want to get as big as possible. I'd like to hit 240 naturally. And I've been up to 230, so I know it's possible. And I'd want to see what I look like at 240. And if I'm big at 240, if I have people telling me you have the right genetics to win, I possibly would then consider hopping on what I need to hop on to get that extra size to win an Olympia. But yet there's never been a 6'5" Mr. Olympia winner, has there? So would I even do that? I don't know. A lot to consider. So 225's on. Gonna hit this for an easy 10. Then I'll throw on 245. Okay, 225. Ugh. $225. Easy. So, you know, a lot of the times, I don't know if anyone else experiences this when they're in the gym, if they do pyramid up like I do. But the reason why I like pyramiding is because a lot of times my second set, 225, will feel super heavy and be super hard, and I just barely get 10, right? I just pushed out 10. And like, once I rest for about 4 minutes after that, I'm like super pumped. Where if this was my working set and I do 225 again, I'd easily get 10. But what I've noticed is I can throw an extra 20 pounds and do 245 and I'll hit 10. And 245 will feel so much lighter than 225. So that's also why I like pyramiding, because I feel like my muscles warm up and then I can hit better weights. Whereas if I were to warm up, let's say with 205 and do working sets of 245, I don't think I can hit as much volume as if I warm up. And like 225 still felt heavy, and I struggled for that 10. But then I'll hit 245 for 10, and I'll struggle on that 10. So to me, I think it's efficient, whereas if I do a working set of 3, like the second set will be easy, or the first set will be super easy, and it's like, whatever. And then the second will be easy, and then the third will. And to me, it's like, when do you decide to go up? When do you decide to progress? So, yeah, I've always liked pyramiding for that case, and I kind of pyramid with everything. I like to know what you know what you can do. You know you start with 50, 60, 70, and then 80 is hard. Then you hit 80 for 10, and then you move up. Then you start 60, 70, 80, and then 90. So, to me, I just find it the most effective, and I've gained 20 pounds of muscle every year for the past, I've been working out for a little over 3.5 years now. 20 pounds, each of those years. I mean, what can I say? It works. Throwing a 245 now. So another thing when benching is I love benching with such a wide grip. I mean, you'll look at like videos of Arnold when he bench, super wide. And I don't know if this only applies really to taller people, because like I have such a wide wingspan, but the stretch I get, like especially with my incline, my bench is a little bit more conservative in terms of how far I'm in, but I'm still a lot wider than normally what people would usually do. But especially with my incline, I'm all the way out. And I just feel like I get such a better stretch, especially whenever you're doing barbell. So yeah, I definitely suggest going wider. I mean, the stretch is better. I mean, yeah, a lot of people, they do barbell because they think they get a better stretch. But to me, I could throw on so much more weight with barbell, and as long as I go wide, like I can still really get that stretch. Like, yeah, I won't be as far by going all the way in, but for me, I have to go so much lighter anyways if I do that, compared to how much I can throw on barbell. So, okay, time to show you skinny boys how to bench your top set. You'll notice that I am doing pause in all these, and that's just because I'm not a little bitch. Okay, your good song on. This is only 245, it's light. Easy. Easy. So my battery's about to die. I think I'll just quickly show you all the rest of the exercise I'm gonna do. Kind of happy I showed you my bench routine. You got a nice little chest pump. Oh yeah. Always gotta check the pump after your workout. Now I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna start with some lower back rows. And then we'll hit incline chest, and then I'll go to lat pull downs. And then after the lat pull downs, sorry, I'm out of breath. I think I'll do pullovers. Then after pullovers, maybe I'll do a back machine. Then I'll call it today. Let's get to it. Guys, tell me this doesn't look like the hallway that Arnold took in the 1975 Olympia. I mean, just, you know what I mean. It's the best part about working out here. Get to feel like I'm in an 80s gym. Working out with Arnold. All right, back rows. I'm gonna go grab a second battery so I can record more. So on my Arnold days, my chest and back days, I don't usually do a heavy compound for my back. I usually leave that to my push-pull leg day. So usually I'll just start with a lot of, I mean, this is kind of, I mean, I still go heavy, but it's definitely not a compound lift. But I do like how I can isolate my back, which is a little bit better. So the main thing I actually look for when I am doing a seated row is the stretch position. Really keeping that load and that tension on your back. And then really just squeezing both sides of your back towards your spinal cord. Just feeling that squeeze. And you can sit here and be scientific about it, but I just like moving the weight, feeling the squeeze, and I don't really care to sit there with lighter weight, feeling the absolute squeeze. So I'll save that for the machines. I like to have my legs extended really far, flat. Squeeze. Stretch. Squeeze. £30 increments. Yeah. So, I mean, that's about it. Feels good. What can I say? Give you guys a second angle from behind me. Okay, here we go. 190 pounds. Brace that back. Squeeze. Okay, I like rested for like 5 more minutes, but here we go. Down, 220, do my last set. Oh, I'm such a weak little bitch, bro. What the fuck? Honestly, gonna switch to an incline, dumbbell incline today. Usually I do a Smith machine here. I prefer barbell incline, but I don't have it. And the dumbbells here are so old. They're low-key not that good. So we'll see how it goes. This honestly feels more like a shoulder press incline. I'll work with that. Dumbbells in this gym are so bad. And they're like uneven. And they kill my thighs. It's not the ideal. And they only go up to 100 pounds, so it's very limiting here. But nonetheless, we'll work with it. Whew. Honestly, not bad. Not bad. I'm honestly trying to avoid having to leave these things sitting on my knees. Unpadded dumbbells. I mean, any advice I have for dumbbells? Let's see. I notice when most people do dumbbells, they kind of stop here, but I like going as, like if I'm doing dumbbells, the whole point is to go lower than you're going on barbell, essentially. So if you're not going farther than what you would do on barbell, why are you even doing dumbbell? All right, let's hit this. Quick flex. All right, I'm gonna go straight to it. All right, that felt good. Same thing, progressive overload. I mean, again, like, what I used to do was 80s, I think 90s, 100, and 110s. There's no 110s here. But, again, if I were to jump straight to 110, I want to be able to hit it for 8. If I didn't do 90 and 100 before. So, you always have to keep that in mind. So, I'm gonna start 90, hit the 90s, but the biggest thing, especially when you're hitting your chest, is like volume. Out of every muscle group that I've definitely spammed chest with the greatest amount of volume, and it's probably the best muscle I've grown. So yeah, let's push straight into the 90s. Dude, these weights are so like fucking warped. Low-key kind of difficult. Whew. Let's go, boys. Nine, onto the hundreds. Not gonna lie, this is a lot lighter today than it was last week. And it doesn't hurt as bad. Honestly, I'd be happy with 6, how weak I've been. That was a struggle. Nonetheless, I did it. By far my favorite exercise, lat pull downs. I'll have to say probably one of my best muscle groups is my lats. But I also just think it's genetics. I have super wide lats. I used to get accused of having ILS. Like, no, my lats are just big. Sorry. I'm gonna show you guys my favorite thing to do with lats. I superset them with pull-ups. Oh my God, it feels so good. Four sets of 10, and then immediately jump right over the pull-ups. The best superset, wide grip pull-ups. Gosh, I see so many people do pull-ups and it's like, if you're really trying to grow your lats, you get, like, try and go as wide as possible. It's honestly the best workout you could possibly do to kill your lat. I honestly wouldn't do anything else. Give you a different view of my lats. from the back angle. Talking about building lats that can easily pull 300 pounds. That's the goal. Just came. 160, 190, 4 sets of 10. Promise, this is all you need to grow your lats. Again, immediately, right after, jumping straight into the wide grip pull-ups. The burnout. It's best finisher, best workout. Okay, third set, lat pull downs. I think the biggest thing when it comes to lat pull downs is kind of your grip. To me, I mean, I like the wide grip. I don't go too wide. Obviously, the wider you go, the less weight you can push. And I like pushing a little bit more weight on the actual lat pull down machine, and then I'll go a lot wider on my finishers with the pull-ups. But still, nonetheless, definitely wider than shoulder width, and then pull it down to your chest. I mean. Simple, easy. So, the last thing I'm doing here today are pullovers. Now, nobody does pullovers and nobody ever shows pullovers. So I want to show you guys the proper way to do pullovers that I've seen the most growth from, personally. Obviously, get your bench, flat bench. We'll lower this. Grab a reasonable weight. I mean, it's gonna be harder than you think. For me, that's 50 pounds. But let me show you how I set up. So when you're executing pullovers, honestly, the best way to set up is making sure you have a proper arch. I mean, the whole point of it is so you have your whole body in that stretch position, have your lat stretch, and then when you do the pull, you wanna squeeze, and you should really feel tension in the upper part of the center chest. And to me, that's where this exercise really just helps with growing that part of your chest, which nobody does it, and I don't know why. I mean, by far, this is my favorite exercise. So I'll go ahead and show you how that's done. So you want your kind of shoulder blades by the edge. And then what you want to do is you're going to drop your butt, and then your arms need to drop too. And you really get that squeeze all through the lats, and then the top part of your chest. You'll feel that squeeze too. It's the best exercise, I promise. Set up, really drop your ass, drop the arms, feel the stretch, and then squeeze. And you want to squeeze at the top right here. And then squeeze. Squeeze. It's a hard one to get into. And honestly, it was one I was very, especially if you're in a really busy gym, you can become self-conscious, but trust me, you're not gonna be self-conscious when your chest is massive. So you guys should really start doing this in your gym. Move the bench, take up space, get your dumbbells out, and just really just fill up. I mean, the pump is just immaculate. Whew. I'll do 4 sets of this. A lot of the times, with that, I probably should have dropped the weight. I didn't quite get 8 to 10, which is what I would have aimed for. I think I got 6. This one takes a lot out of you. You'll be surprised. I mean, you're really stretching your whole body, and like you're using muscles you've never used before. Because you're here, and you're doing this, and you're not using your abs. It's not like you're crunching, but you're kind of using your lats, and your shoulders, and your upper chest. Really get that squeeze. This exercise is not for people with weak shoulders, I'll tell you that. You're gonna dislocate it. So keep it light. A lot of the times with exercises like this, I mean, you'll see it with a lot of things. Even with benching, a lot of things, a lot of new people in the gym, like your chest may be a lot stronger than other surrounding muscles, especially when you're squatting. Your core is, your legs will be stronger than your core is when you start squatting. But there's just so many things. The same thing with your upper body. A lot of the times, your pecs will be so much stronger than your shoulders, and it's not even your delt. It's a lot of the connecting smaller muscles you're not used to, and they'll be completely weak to the point where it's limiting actual growth. So you actually, the first 2-3 weeks, even a couple months in the gym will actually be building those smaller muscles. And once they get up to par, then you can really start pushing the actual muscle you want to target. So you really got to break through that plateau of just building up supporting muscles to then reach the muscle you're actually trying to target. A lot of times there'll be muscles in your shoulders. A lot of times when you're squatting, there'll be a lot of your core. If you really want to increase your squat, even your deadlifts, like working out your core. And I'm not talking about just holding planks. To me, that's useless. I'm talking about doing some leg crunches, putting on some weight. That's the best thing you can do, especially if you're trying to take bodybuilding really seriously. And I've noticed a huge difference because I didn't do it, and it took a long time. And then I got injured. I worked out the supporting muscles, and I came back the next year, and then I was much stronger. So keep that in mind. I'm gonna stick with the 50s, and I'll show you guys one more time. Best way to set up, have the dumbbell to the right of you, or to the left of you. Again, you want your mid back on the bench, be parallel, legs out where your body's flat, take the weight, put it up in the air. You wanna squeeze your chest. See, my hands are pretty close on the dumbbell. You want them pretty nice close, tight triangle with the hands, and you kinda want your elbows kinda in a little bit. You don't want them flared out, that's terrible. You're gonna dislocate your shoulder if you do that. Keep the elbows tucked, really, pop that chest, and then keep your chest tight, and then you're gonna wanna drop the weight and drop the ass at the same time, and then push. Again, push. And then when you go to the top and you push at the top, you can bring your ass back up the brace. It'll be a lot easier to brace. It'll feel better, brace in parallel. So again, drop the ass, squeeze, oh. And then when you come up, you can even think about driving your elbows together. It's a hard exercise to get and learn, but it's all about feel. I mean, these things are gonna feel really weird when you start, and you just gotta know, okay, I just gotta keep doing it. And a lot of times it's that supporting muscle. So, yeah, after 2-3 weeks, you'll realize that, hey, this is getting easier. I really only feel it in my upper chest, and I really feel that stretch in the lats. And that's honestly what you're trying to go for. So I'm gonna do 2 more sets, and then I'm gonna go pose in the mirror. And then you can see the chest and the back pump I got. I'm gonna show you guys one more time, but from the side angle. So you can really see the ass dropping. and the arms going back. Okay, so just gonna show you from the side angle. You want your back flat on the chest, shoulders kind of parallel with center of the bench, just about a little bit above. Stretch position. So I like to feel the stretch, pick up my weight, put it in the air. Again, you want everything tight. Elbows locked, they're in, you don't want them flared out. Should feel pretty natural. And then you're parallel, and then when you go down, drop the ass. And feel the stretch, your whole body should stretch. And then squeeze. And when the squeeze is up, you'll feel it in the center of your chest. Squeeze. I couldn't. See there, guys? That's failure. You'll feel it in your abs too. Golly, that's total body work. Total body. It feels like a total body workout. It's not. So all I have to say is, pullovers, probably one of my favorite exercises. Immediately when I started pullovers and dumbbell flies, I noticed significant growth in my chest. I mean, it's beyond one of the most underrated exercises, and I encourage everybody to do it. All right, let's go pose. You guys are gonna have to forgive me. I'm new to this posing routine. But yeah, I mean, chest, light back day today. Let's see what pump I got. Watch for it. Like I said, doing those pullovers, immediately, like you could see the muscle growth here. Never had I been able to see the muscle growth contract here until I started those pullovers. So, yeah, foam cover off. Not really ideal lighting here, but yeah, the biggest thing I've really got to work on is lower back. Thickness, at least, in the lower back, even in the middle. But for never cutting in my life, I'm kind of happy this is where I'm at. I do want to put on 20 more pounds muscle. I could put some more in my traps. But I'm happy with the progress. So that's where I'm at right now, August of 2025. Realistically, if I were to compete, I think 2027 would be the earliest I could even think about winning. But in the meantime, I'd be happy to maintain the 225 I'm at right now. And then obviously bulk for another, I think I could put on 20 pounds of muscle if I bulk. for at least 6 months. And I'll be sitting around 245, and that's naturally. Obviously, this is a naturally achieved physique. It'd be pretty embarrassing if it was steroids, but there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. See you later.